Remember the movie Mad Max when everybody's just doing whatever they wanted, the end of the world? That's what happened here. All of a sudden, everybody's got the keys to the candy store. Ad buyers, talent, consultants. There's 100 days to do it. And the money started pouring in. I think this disqualifies her forever. If you can't run a campaign, you can't run America. They tell me about her political future. I don't think she has a political future.
A top Democrat Party donor there absolutely torching Vice President Harris's losing campaign. The Harris campaign team finally breaking their silence, 4 of them speaking out on a top podcast, and what had to be a painful autopsy of their effort.
Being up against a narrative that we weren't doing anything or we were afraid to have interviews is completely and also took hold a little bit. And we just gave us another thing we had to fight back for that Trump never had to worry about.
Those aides took a bit of blame for the spectacular loss, but also did some pretty wild finger pointing, targeted for their failure, the media, recent hurricanes, voters in battleground states, lack of time, and Trump's ads showing Harris's support for sex changes for people in prison. The vice president, back from her Hawaii vacation, shared this video thanking supporters. Watch.
That fight's still in us, and it burns strong. And I know this is an uncertain time. I'm clear-eyed about that. I know you're clear-eyed about it. And it feels heavy. And I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. Just reflect on all the good you have done and all the good you have yet to do.
Many viewers simply stunned. Republican Congresswoman Virginia Foxx of North Carolina posting, quote, "The dial-up modem sound played on an infinite loop is more bearable than 28 seconds of whatever that is." Another, a final 30 seconds of circular references for The Road. One more, Kamala's best play is to lay low for 6 months. The fact she doesn't realize that is perfectly on brand. Power panel, Emily Domenech, Boundary Stone Partners Senior Vice President, former Senior Policy Advisor to Speaker Kevin McCarthy, and Political Climate Podcast co-host, and Fred Hicks, Hicks Evaluation Group founder and president. Great to see both of you. Emily, she said clear-eyed. That does not describe what she was in that video.
Yeah, leave it to Congresswoman Virginia Foxx to tell it like it is. That was a tough video to watch. But I think it shouldn't surprise us. We watched a campaign from Vice President Harris that was completely out of touch with what the American people were looking for. So it shouldn't surprise us that she's completely out of touch with what Democratic voters are looking for in defeat. And I think we're hearing that from both her campaign staff and from other Democratic donors who are just concerned that she, frankly, is not the future of the party and perhaps should have laid low in this critical moment.
Fred, it's not just this video, but I did think Hawaii vacations were supposed to be restorative. It's the fact that this campaign burned through more than $1 billion, wound up with debt. That just speaks to, now we know what happened the last 4 years in this country, financially, economically.
Well, listen, anytime anyone loses anything, it's tough. It's tough emotionally, it's tough spiritually. So I'm not surprised that she took some time away. As a matter of fact, the criticism on this network initially was that she didn't speak election night, and now the people are complaining that she is speaking. And I think it was actually a good thing for her to do that, to speak, to not take up too much time, but to let people hear her voice and hear what she's thinking. The reality, I think, right now is that she is trying to figure out her own path, and in Democratic circles, we are looking at what is our path forward, who's going to lead the party, both at the state level and at the national level. But with respect to what John Morgan and others have said, what I would say to our Democratic mega donors is that Republican mega donors ran laps around you, and we need you to get involved and get engaged in understanding what message will work and on GOTV, rather than taking to television and the networks and trying to blast someone. Let's build this party and let's build up what we're trying to do.
Yeah, but the next candidate and campaign maybe shouldn't throw their money on a tire fire, so to speak. I want to move on to this. Hey, look at Kamala Harris's campaign by the numbers. 226 electoral votes, the worst showing for a Democrat since 1988. Nearly 7 million fewer votes than Biden got in 2020. 0 swing states won. 1.5 billion in campaign cash reportedly spent. A 42% approval rating in a recent Wall Street Journal poll. Emily, what I heard in that video, and we're not dismissing the fact that she made this, she came out and it was like coping with Kamala. It's the fact that she's talking about pride and there's just no, whoops, we lost, we fouled up. That's what no one hears.
Yeah, I think this was a real opportunity for her to say, let's think about the things that didn't resonate with the American people. Let's think about the policies where frankly, President Trump gave a better argument. He gave a better argument on the economy. He gave a better argument on energy prices. Let's look internally and figure out, do some of that rehashing that you normally see post-election. And it doesn't surprise me that we're not seeing it from Vice President Harris, because frankly, I don't think we've really seen it from many folks in Congress either. I'm a former congressional staff, and you're not hearing from members about what they need to be changing in order to better appeal to the American people and the challenges we have today.
Fred, real quick before we move on.
So I think what we are actually having those conversations at the state level and some within our leadership circles. And so the reality is, and you're right, we're off message. We lost big, and we have to look at that and understand what happened and why. And I think we will. I think that by the time we get to January 20th, we'll start to see some things sort of coalesce, and we're going to see Donald Trump be Donald Trump, and that in and of itself might create opportunities, but we'll have to see.
Speaking of which, you teed this up awfully well. The Trump bump is on. A new national poll shows that the president-elect's post-election favorability surging to 54%. That is up 6 points from just before the election and up 9 points from August. Majorities of men, white, and Hispanic voters rate Trump favorably. Nearly half of women say the same, as do 28% of black voters, an historically high number for Republican president. Those numbers jibe with the headline, Trump is suddenly cool, and it may help his agenda. The piece points out the viral Trump dance craze. It argues, quote, fresh off his decisive victory in the election, Trump has once again become a cultural force of power, prestige, wealth, and comedy. Also worth noting, Gallup polling has not seen Trump's favorables over 50% going back to his first campaign for president. I'm going to go to you, Fred, on this. It's also, I personally think it was him serving up fries and wearing a sanitation vest. It's just his ability to kind of give into the moment and even make fun of himself.
Yeah. So there's a saying in politics that you're never as popular as the day after you win your election. And we've seen that play out time and time again. And I think that's part of what we're seeing here. But I want to be very clear and very, very straightforward. Donald Trump has been a cultural force for 30, 40 years. I tell people all the time that growing up, you play the game of Monopoly. And when you think of the personification of the Monopoly man as Donald Trump, he's made his way into hip-hop culture. In the early 2000s, people cited him and Bill Gates as other people. So he has been a cultural force. And that's something that Democrats really, honestly, that we've underestimated and haven't figured out how to counter. I think the question for the Republican Party is this a Republican force, or is this a Donald Trump personality that's propelling the party to its wins right now? But there's no doubt that, hey, he's at 54%. He won, and congratulations to him.
Emily, final word. It's kind of the new Republican force, maybe.
Right. I think you're exactly right. We need to be able to take advantage of this cultural moment that's around President Trump. And I'll say it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. He's funny. We should take advantage of that and lean into being real people who are authentic and honest about the things we believe. And I think that it gives the incoming Trump administration a real opportunity to move forward these policies that can hopefully turn around our economy and get the America we want to see back on track.
I think it was Ian Sams of the Kamala Harris campaign who labeled the serving up fries and even maybe the sanitation vest as President Trump's Mike Dukakis moment. Well, it turns out that Kamala Harris was 1988 Mike Dukakis. Thank you both so much. Great to see you. Emily Domenech, Fred Hicks. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.